and welcome to All About Sport. I'm Louise O'Reilly. Joining me on the show tonight is Cavan Comets Baseball Club, who is situated right here in Cavan Town, believe it or not. And I am joined by Andrew Pearce and Adrian Kelly. Gentlemen, thank you very much for coming in and joining us on the show tonight. So I was quite surprised when I got a phone call about, Cavan Baseball Club. It surprised me that it was happening here in Cavan Town. But Andrew, you're obviously, tell us a little bit about your background. You started this up. And you're not Irish, believe it or not.
Yeah, it doesn't take very long after I open my mouth to figure that out. But thanks very much, Louise, for having us on. No, the Cavan Comets Baseball started back in sort of 2006. We'd been living here since 2000. We'd been to baseball games back in the States. We go back to the States to travel with my son, or on holidays. My son loved to play the game, but there was nothing. Yeah. So we came back and we Googled. We found out there was this organization called Baseball Ireland. So the first year, 2005, we found ourselves driving back and forth to Dublin. And we thought, this is crazy. Let's start a team in Cavan. So we did. We put an ad in the paper, did some stuff with this out, and the next thing you know, we had people calling us, and we were able to put together a Little League team. And it's just kind of grown from there.
So it's kind of been running since 2006.
Yeah.
So you're from, what part of America are you from?
I'm from Kansas originally.
Kansas. And maybe people from around Cavan Town might recognise you, like I did from... Tell us a little about your shop in Cavan.
The J&B Hope Limited, keeping life simple at the bottom of Bridge Street. It's again trying to bring a little bit of, I suppose, that Americana. We call it Cavan's Amish influenced Irish American general store.
I like it. Yeah. It's great. You did film me in that before, but if anyone's around, you should definitely pop in there. So then, obviously, you were running up and down to Dublin. You said, "Why don't we start this here in Cavan?" How difficult was it to get a response to something like this here in Cavan Town?
Actually, to get started, it was incredibly easy. We put a real little thing for the South. They'd called them up and they said sure they'd run it. Put a picture in, kind of on playing on the Field of Dreams sort of thing.
Yes.
And the rugby club was good enough to just open it up and say that we could practice down there. And after the ad went out, calls started coming in, and the next thing you know, we had sort of 10 or 12 kids, 10, 11, 12 years old that wanted to play.
Right. So you started with the younger children, Little League, as you call it. So you started off with them, the Little League.
And two of those guys, my son and one other player, here from Cavan, a guy who's born and raised here, right, are now competing to be on the Irish national team.
Wow. Well, we will talk a little bit more about the Irish national team in just a little bit, but we'll come to you next, Adrian Kelly, a Monaghan man. Tell us a little bit about how you got involved in this new Cavan Comets baseball team. Well, it's not new, I suppose.
It's been around. The adult team hasn't been around that long. It's been around for about 3 years again, isn't it? And I got involved. I seen him in the St Patrick's Day parade last year. I was actually at a stag party down in Galway before that, and we did this thing called Sure Skills, where you try out 10 different sports. And I tried out baseball, and it was the first time I'd even held a baseball bat, And so the machine fires the ball at 55 miles an hour, and you have to hit the ball with the bat, in a batting cage in Galway. So I hit all 12 of the balls that were pitched,
Right, so you've great hand-eye coordination.
Yeah, so probably pure fluke, but, I was laughing about it with my wife because I played a lot of Gaelic football and I managed to kick over 2 out of 10, so I was like, I was meant to play baseball, So,
in another life.
Yeah.
If only it was a baseball team.
That's right. So then we seen them in the parade, and my wife said, Jesus, you have to try baseball,
that's unreal,
so that's how I got started, So when your wife asks you to, it gives you a free pass to go and try the sport, with young kids, so it's you take the opportunity.
Exactly, when you're trying to juggle, I suppose, family life.
That's right.
So then you came on board a year ago.
That's right.
And what's your involvement? What's your role? Bar playing?
Well, PR, I suppose. I'm trying to raise the profile of baseball in Cavan and wider afield. Players are welcome from Monaghan or Longford or any commute. Any commuting distance. It's a very accessible sport. We've got a cross diverse kind of set of players there. We've got Eastern European guys. The Dublin teams in particular have a lot of South American guys and people that have grown up playing baseball and have come to Ireland now and would like to continue playing.
Have you got many players on the adult team who've already previously played baseball? in maybe there are other countries, or is it all very new for everybody?
We don't.
Junar had played in the Philippines.
Yeah, we have a Philippine player who had played it growing up.
Okay.
And Sean has some experience in Canada.
Yeah, we've got a Canadian player now who played it growing up as well.
Great.
So, recently we've had a campaign, which have included roadside signs and advertisements in the paper, and we've recruited a lot of new players,
Brilliant.
So, but it's very well organised on a national level with 14 national teams.
Right, okay, so it's not just England, so when you have games to play, so it's seasonal. Right. So is it just started now, the season, just recently, or how does that work?
Yeah, we just had our second game last weekend, so it's just started. But we started training at the beginning of February, and it'll run right through till September, when the playoffs are on in September.
Brilliant. So what's the name of the league?
Well, it's the Baseball Ireland League, I suppose. Division B we play in. So
you're saying there's 14 teams take part
right.
from all over Ireland.
That's right.
And then there's obviously trophies, a little bit like the All Ireland in Gaelic football.
Pretty
Sam
much.
Maguire.
Pretty much. Yeah, that's right. Pretty much. It's quite a high standard, particularly the Dublin teams, because they have players that played all their lives, So we don't have that in Cavan, but we do compete reasonably well.
We're working on it. We're doing, it's a game that can be it's a game that can be picked up, pretty easily. And as you get into it, you find out the sort of the nuances and the complex. So it's simple on one level and complex on another.
Right.
But
that's right.
Anyone can play.
So how is the skills, I suppose, what sort of skills do people need if they want to be capable of playing this sport? Is it similar to hurling, or I suppose we have talked about rounders as well, and you're going to tell us a little bit more that there is a link between it. So give us maybe a background of the history, and that may answer that question for us.
Okay, just a bit on the history. Baseball in the States is seen to have developed out of rounders back in the 1800s. And I think it's largely attributed to an Irish influence. And in fact, when baseball kind of mutated out of rounders in the sort of late 1800s, it was almost all Irish playing it in the States.
Yeah.
Huge number of Irish players across the Midwest and from the East across the Midwest. And so there's a huge Irish tradition in playing baseball.
Right.
And the skills that are necessary to do it, because the field and the nature of the game between offense and defense, it's open to a lot of skill sets. And people, if you're not fast, that's okay. There's a position for you. If you are fast, there's a position for you. You just need to be able to throw the ball and hit the ball and catch the ball.
Yeah. Talk us maybe through a game and how long the game is and how it progresses.
That's another beautiful thing about baseball is there's no clock. Now, some people don't like that, but there's no clock in baseball, and there's no ties. You play until you have a winner. A game would traditionally be 9 innings. In our league, it's 7 innings, right? Okay. In the other league, it is 9 innings, right? But it's a 7-inning play.
So what's an inning?
An inning is the home team, and you have the home team and the away team. It's each of them having an at bat.
Okay.
So an inning, the away team would have an at bat at first, and then once they get their 3 outs, they take the field, and the home team gets an at bat, right? And that's 1 inning.
1 inning.
And if at the end of the last inning, be it 7 or 9, but say at the end of the 9th inning, if the score is tied 1-1, you keep playing and you keep playing. I think the longest game in history is like 26 innings. It's spread out over a couple days. It was played in. It was a Boston affiliate, played in just outside of Boston.
Oh gosh! So I'm guessing when people go to watch a game that they've got to be set for. To bring their lunch and dinner with them to be there for a long time.
Well, typically a major league game, I think the shortest major league game in the history would be just under 2 hours. And they tend to run between 2 to 3.5 if there's a lot of runs scored and things like that. But in the States, a baseball game talking to Irish people that go to the States, they almost invariably go to see the Red Sox or the Yankees or something like that. They get Mets, Dodgers, some of these teams. And it's about the atmosphere. It's just a fantastic atmosphere. And that time just flies by.
Yeah. Is it a male-dominated sport, or is there mixed teams, or has it been, in the past, was there female teams? When did it get started?
And back in World War II, there was a female team, right? Yeah. There was a completely female team. There was a mixture. But in the States today, the Major League Baseball is male, right? There have been women who have tried to compete, but it's typical. It's the same situation that you get in men's and women's sports, where just the physical nature of it when you're actually getting at that level, right? At our level, it's absolutely open to everyone. Men and women play together, and women can be just as competitive in the sport as men can.
Yeah. So you have a mixed team at the moment.
We have
No? Yeah.
we have occasionally women that come out, but
Yeah.
we don't have any
Occasionally.
women on the roster at the moment.
No,
Okay, yeah.
but, they're welcome. So we're looking for new players all the time. So
So I suppose, Adrian, just to come back to it, you're looking for new players. So for, male and female, is there an age kind of?
well, not particularly. If you're reasonably fit and you would like to try something new, come on out. I mean, I started at 36.
I said 10 years ago. Sorry.
Last year, I feel I picked it up reasonably quickly. But as Andy says, I picked it up at a superficial level. And this year I'm beginning to learn the nuances of the rules a little bit more, and it's trying to understand it a little bit more. And there are times when you're playing the game that you just don't know what's happening because there's implementing a particular rule, but very rarely.
Yeah.
It's a basic sport, and it's not hard to pick up.
Yeah. I'm guessing your position, you're the batter, are you?
Well, no, everybody bats.
Everyone bats. Okay.
Yeah, that's right. But
So-
you've different field positions, different defensive positions when you're not batting.
Okay.
That's the positional.
Okay,
challenge.
so it's in comparison, how is it different than rounders? I mean, is the bats are different? Are they? Is one round-
They're not a lot different. In Ireland, they use very similar to baseball bats. And in England, they use short bats and bat with one hand rounders, and that's kind of the difference,
Okay.
But we use aluminium bats. So
Yeah.
as you see on TV, baseball in America.
do you have a referee or umpires
Yeah,
or that in the game?
they do,
and where how do you?
They
where do you get
travel
them?
from Dublin. It's a league game, so it's they get paid to ref the games.
Okay.
So.
And how long has baseball been in Ireland? Do you know, Andrew?
The teams in Dublin have been playing each other for at least 15 years.
Yeah,
So
probably longer. I think it's
yeah.
1986, or 1985. It was
When they
Kind of
first started
start.
trying to get together a national
that's
team,
right.
yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. So it's amateur sport here, but is there any chance that it could progress and?
Well, that's an
Catch on.
interesting point actually, because as it progresses, there's a national team there. We've got a lot of interest from the States. One of our sponsors, and wearing a T-shirt here from
Yeah.
Foley's Bar in New York, who sponsors our team, and there's a good link there. So I mean, if we can bring players through from Little League that
Yes.
can get enough playing time, there's the prospect of being able to go to college and get a scholarship playing baseball in
yeah.
America. So
that's quite an exciting prospect, big time.
Mm.
Yeah. So you were saying about your sponsor there. We've got Foley's Bar in
That's-
New York. Wow! So you've managed to secure a sponsor from so far away.
That's right. Sean Clancy, who was originally he went to school in Cavan, went to
Yeah.
St. Pat's. He owns Foley's Bar in New York, which would be a dedicated baseball bar. He's the president of the Irish American Baseball Hall of Fame over there, which is a pretty big deal. They inducted
Yeah.
Kevin Costner and various other people into the Hall of Fame.
Wow.
And he knows a lot of, he's affiliated to a lot of the major league clubs over there, so he's been a great contact for us.
That's great. Yeah. Well, I suppose a great big hello to them there
Yeah.
in Foley's Bar in New York, and obviously will you get to travel maybe with this team? Would it be an opportunity for you to go over to the States and play a team over there? Is that something you
Well,
kind of?
maybe in the future, you never rule it out,
Yeah.
but it's
The national team travels to the States every other year. They take the kids, like last year, we had one guy that did go to the States with them. That's how we made a connection. Because they actually were in New York and met Sean there,
Yeah.
right? And he found out there was a team in Cavan, and it was like, yeah, that's my team now,
Yeah.
So it was really, really good. So the national team travels. Little league teams have gone from representing Baseball Ireland, have traveled to the States a number of occasions. We took a little league team 2 years ago, and then back in 2001. But there is nothing to stop us from traveling. There's teams in the UK. There's like 80,000 people playing baseball in the Netherlands. There's nothing to stop us from taking little league teams, cadet teams across Europe into the States.
So you were saying your son, he's obviously started with the Little League, and he's now playing with the Irish team.
The Irish national team.
Irish
he went to the
national
States
team.
last year with
Right,
the
so
Irish
he
national
really
team.
would be hoping for the prospect of going or the chance to go to America for a scholarship.
Yeah, he'd love to have that opportunity. And this year, the Irish national team is going to the European Championships are in Vienna, in Austria,
Yeah.
and so they're traveling there. It is extremely competitive. The World Baseball Classic was this year. Maybe some of the viewers would have seen a little bit of the World Baseball Classic. These are teams from national teams playing baseball.
It's like the World Cup for baseball. You've got
Okay.
all the national teams competing, you know.
Right.
And a team from Italy this year, was right in it.
Oh, right. Okay. So
Yeah.
they're like really.
I think
It's
Mexico
kind of
won.
worldwide.
Dominican Republic.
Dominican Republic, but Italy was in it right to the very last, you know. And we'd like to do that. A lot of these teams have imported American players, but as Sean was saying, I mean, our goal is to get young people growing up in the sport, getting them to the States to play, or into the UK or someplace like that, where or even be able to develop it here, so that we can have our own major leaguers. We could fill a roster with Irish expats today for an Irish national team.
Wow.
So we have a guy coming over in the summer. His name is Steve Garvey.
That's right. That's quite exciting. Yeah, you were saying he's a very big name in the States.
Yeah,
when
he's
it
a
comes
huge
to
name in the States, you know.
baseball.
He was from 1969 to 1988, I think it was, or 89. He played Major League Baseball. He has, I think, he held the record, or still holds it, for the most consecutive games, 1,200 and something games in a row, you know.
Yeah, and he played. Who did he play with again?
He played with the LA Dodgers, principally, and then transferred in '85 to the Padres.
So LA Dodgers, and they're a very well-known baseball
They'd be
team.
hugely capitalized.
Like the Red Sox.
baseball team.
Is it? Was it the Boston Red Sox? And
That's right. They'd be the sort of the West Coast
the
equivalent.
Yankees.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
They're not.
Steve he's a big name. He was an all-star for 10 years. He's MVP for the National League. His consecutive game record is a National League record. He's a fantastic player.
He's the only
Real
player
good
ever to have a faultless season at first base, as in he never dropped the ball, never made any error. He's the only player ever to do that in the history of baseball at first base, you know, which is an incredible record. So he's great to come over.
How
and
did you manage to get someone like Steve Garvey to?
well, through Foley's Bar, New York. So Sean
great
was instrumental in that. So he's very supportive, you know.
Yeah.
And
No date has been confirmed for
no,
that
but
just yet.
we're thinking probably the end of June, early July.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get him over.
So obviously Steve wouldn't be playing. He's in his 60s now,
Yeah.
so he wouldn't be playing for the Irish national team in the World Baseball Classic. But his son is playing Major League Baseball. He's in the minor leagues, and there's a lot of young guys here. If you were watching the World Series a few years ago, you'd see a guy by the name of Sean Casey at bat. You know, again, traces his roots back here. So there's still a lot of Irish in the sport.
Tell us a little about you mentioned the lake or something being named after a Cavan man, or did you mention
Comiskey Park in Chicago.
Yeah.
People think of the Chicago White Sox, and in the south side of Chicago, for the Southsiders, they have the Chicago White Sox. And the original manager of the Chicago White Sox team, and then the owner, was this guy Comiskey. And his family is from Crusher Lock here in Cavan.
Comiskey is the pronunciation.
Yes.
Comiskey. I was like, I don't know that name.
But yeah, in the States and in Chicago, Comiskey Park.
Comiskey Park. Or as we probably would pronounce it, Comiskey Park, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, Comiskey.
Yeah, oh my gosh. So again, then, you know, the league you're part of is the All Ireland.
Yeah, it's Baseball Ireland is the organisation.
So how many kind of games do you have?
We play 18 game season, plus friendly games.
18
we
games.
play an inter-squad game each year
And
as
it
well.
starts. You started 2 weeks ago. So who have you played so far?
Funny enough, we played a challenge match against the Mullahoran Rounders team.
Oh right, well, we've had them in here. Yeah. Well, how'd that go?
It was great fun.
It was good fun. Yeah, we played a couple of innings of Rounders. So we tried Rounders and they tried baseball. So it was really interesting.
I like that little mix. So yeah, you might get some of the girls then on board. Have a Mullahoran baseball team.
They've got some skills down there. They certainly do. You know,
they do.
The ball.
So so that was your challenge game, and then who have you played so far? You've played.
We played the West Clare. We played them twice, I think.
Once. It was one game.
Yeah, once.
The Hurricanes was twice.
And we played a good top of the league, really. The Hurricanes are called. They're a Dublin team. We played them last weekend.
Who's your kind of team to beat, or who's kind of top of the league?
Well, it would be the Hurricanes. Would probably be one of the top teams.
The Greystones Mariners.
I suppose they've got a lot more catchment, or maybe you have more choice.
Very established. He's been going for a long time, so they have players some of the players on the team would be playing for 10 or 15 years. A lot of built-up experience.
There's a big South American influence. There's like a lot of Spanish spoken at Cavan Rugby Club last weekend. You know, they were speaking. You know, there's a lot of
a bit of Lithuanian or Latvian.
And you were saying obviously your son, and is there any other players that are involved in the Irish baseball team?
Yeah, Paul Coombs, who's from here in Cavan. He's been playing with us from the very beginning, and he was up there last Sunday, at the tryouts. He's a great player, got a good strong arm, good potential. So both he and my son Forrest are sort of in the 19, 20-year-old age bracket. So by
Yeah.
the time they're 24, 26, they keep working at it. They should absolutely be on the team going to the Europeans.
That's brilliant. Well, we do have some footage just to give people a taste of, what this is all about. So, so if you're watching now, you can check out Cavan Comets in action. So check this out.
This is the team. The dream team is what you're watching now. Believe it or believe it not, this is a team. Look. That's it, Carlos. Take one with the team, Ron. One with the team. That's the ball. That's the one. Oh, yeah. Show us. You have to. Yeah, baby.
This is what you don't do. Use your hand, not your eye.
That's great stuff. And I have one of the baseball here in my hand, and it's very heavy, so I can imagine it really hurts getting hit by that. That was great. I spotted you there on that, and it was, so that took place. Where was that shot? That video?
Variety, the actual. If you saw a baseball diamond in there, that's Corca Park. That's Clondalkin.
Right, so it's always set out for that. Is that's used all year round.
There's an adult. Well, it's seasonal again, so it's
Yeah.
summertime. But again, the games and practices would probably start there in March, April, right after the time changes, and run right through September, October into playoffs, depending on the weather. So there's a dedicated adult size field there, and beside it a little league field.
Oh, right, okay. So don't have to run.
Which was funded by
Paid for by the Dodgers, partly paid for by the Dodgers organization.
Dodgers funded that.
Peter O'Malley and the Dodgers organization. There is also a club in Ashburn that is at the moment just Little League and Cadets. The Little League are the Gruffalos, the Cadets are the Giants.
Yeah.
But they are building an international class stadium there. It's complete day, night operation, clubhouse, everything like that, and they've got funding from Leader to do that.
So, right, okay.
So
is that something you would hope, for down the line? Is that something you want to work towards, that you would have proper facilities and, what's the next steps in really that happening, or are you working on that at the moment?
Well, at the moment we're working at we're playing at the rugby club. We've played a few places around Cavan. We started the rugby club. We're back at the rugby club now. And we're working with them to look at the potential of actually trying to develop at least a shared facility there in time. So that's the short-term goal.
Yeah. And the rugby club have been very accommodating, so they've been very supportive, and we're grateful to them.
Yeah.
Tell us, if people obviously who are watching this and really want to get involved, and you're obviously still looking for new members, and tell us who they can get in contact with.
Well, check out the website. I think is the big thing.
If you just give that into the camera.
CavanComets.com. And if you just Google Cavan Comets Baseball, you'll see our Facebook page and our website there, and we've got all the information, all the contact details on there. Andy's obviously the go-to guy in terms of new players, but they're welcome all season. We're delighted to see new people up.
Brilliant, and you've brought in some of the you've got the glove, and obviously you've got this. I'm going to just hear. Right, hopefully this doesn't hit any cameras. So this is all live. Way well done. So tell us a little about. You were saying obviously one person wears the glove. That's the defender. At any one time, and you were saying one guy in that video, he always seems to be like a magnet to the ball. Yeah, it hurts when you get hit by that ball.
Yeah, not too long. So I don't want to scare anybody off.
Everyone has the bat. How many players?
Nine.
Nine.
Yeah, 9. So the team is kind of different again. So the difference is about when you're on offense, the other team has the ball, you're at bat. That's when you're trying to score runs, right? Okay. When you're on defense, now you have the ball, and you're trying to keep the other team from scoring runs, right? Yeah. So this is kind of the little kind of the crazy ins out, but makes it such a great game. Yeah. So pitchers, when you're the first part of the game is started by the pitcher throwing the ball to the catcher, and the batter is trying to hit it. If you're doing this as a major leaguer in the United States, the pitcher may be throwing this at 95 to 102 miles per hour. So we're talking 160 kilometers per hour. Same little hard ball. If you do get hit by it at that speed, it does sting a little bit.
Everyone pitches, though.
No. There's a dedicated pitcher.
Dedicated pitcher.
A dedicated pitcher.
The cream of the crop.
Absolutely.
It's a quarterback really in football. It's a little bit,
Okay. And they get big money. They can get $10 million a year. So if they're really good ones, but. And it's one of the hardest things to do in sport. If is to actually get up there and hit the ball and put it in play. Our pitchers, we're lucky to see something at 70 miles per hour. That's that's sort of the top end of our league. Okay. The national team guys, when they actually get to the Europeans and stuff like that, will be probably seeing in the 80s to maybe higher 80s. Yeah. Might see somebody at 90, but it's unlikely.
Okay. Tell us, how did you come up with the name? You decided on Cavan Comets, and you've got the jerseys. Tell us about the kit, the whole lot.
Yeah. The name came when, and the colors and everything came when we were taking a group of kids to a game up in Dublin. We put the team together, and it was our first sort of friendly match up in Dublin. And we had the car loaded, we had 2 cars, and we were kind of like, okay, what are we going to call ourselves when we get up there? And the kids were throwing out different names. And the group of kids kind of just settled on the Comets. They liked the Comets. Yeah. And they were looking at colors, and the first one they wanted to do, we want to do all black because it's all black. And then it was just decided, no, the Cavan colors are sort of the blue and the white.
They look great, and they work really well, and sticking with Cavan and the C for Cavan. Yeah, it's a great ring to it as well, as you'll remember it. Put it that way. So
that's right. We haven't alienated the Monaghan players either. It can be white and blue.
There you go. You see, it was great thinking of this. That's why you were thinking, I'm happy to play for this team. So at the moment, so you obviously just maybe if you want to just give Foley's a little shout out there again, Adrian, into the camera, and just to thank them for all their support.
Yeah, absolutely. They've been very supportive, and Sean was over actually 2 weeks ago. Watching the training sessions of ours, so we're very grateful to him. It's the link to Foley's website is actually on our website, so it's Foleys.com as well in Manhattan, New York. So
great,
right under the Empire State Building. So if you're going to Manhattan and you go to the Empire State Building, just go across the street and visit Sean Foley from Butler's Bridge.
Excellent. And you train, what days is training?
Tuesdays and Thursday evenings, 6:30 at the rugby club.
6:30. So it's a great way to get fit, meet new people, and try something different all in one. So Tuesdays and Thursdays training, and then with a weekend, possibly a weekend game.
The next game is 2 weeks against the Belfast All Stars.
4th of May.
4th of May
in Dublin.
Well, look, I'm going to wish you the best of luck on that note on the 4th of May, and hope it goes really well. And I'm going to really be listening out and watching what's going to be next for the Cavan Comets. But hopefully we'll get to meet Steve Garvey when he makes it to Cavan in June. But guys, thank you so much, Adrian and Andrew, for coming on the show. So that's it from All About Sport for this week. Thank you very much to our guests. And if you want to check out baseball here in Cavan Town, check out www.cavancomets.com. Am I right? Yeah. Yes. And so I'll be back again at the same time next week. So goodbye.